So let's explore this technique of conducting Kano analysis. But first, check out this quote by Sam Walton. Exceed your customers' expectations. If you do, they'll come back over and over. Give them what they want and a little more. Kano analysis was developed in the 1980s by Professor Kano. It's an analysis tool to use for customer satisfaction and development. It classifies customer preferences into 5 categories. It's a powerful and useful approach for determining characteristics to include in a new product or service. When Kano analysis is conducted and its outcomes are applied, it will result in a profitable and competitive differentiator, where customers become excited about and loyal to your business. So let's take a look at the process flow for conducting Kano analysis, and it's listed here in 6 steps. First, we're going to aggregate voice of customers' needs by conducting interviews, surveys, focus groups, and reviewing customer complaints and warranty data. Then, based on the aggregation of voice of customer data, we'll create a list of potential customer needed characteristics for our product or service. In the 3rd step, we're then going to take those characteristics and obtain feedback through interviews and surveys. And we'll use 2 formats of questioning. A positive format: how would you feel if this characteristic is addressed? The negative format: how would you feel if this characteristic is not addressed? And the customer can respond in 4 different ways. They can like it, they can suggest it's normal, they can say they don't care, or they can say they don't like it. We'll use that information in step 4 to identify those characteristics that are must-haves, core requirements, exciters, indifferent, or reverse. Must-haves are dissatisfiers. They're expected characteristics of the product or service. They don't increase satisfaction, but if they're not present, they will dissatisfy. Core requirements are satisfiers. They're desired characteristics of the product or service that increase or decrease satisfaction based on the amount or degree. Exciters or delighters are unexpected characteristics that impress the customer and differentiate the product or service. Now, indifferent characteristics, customers, they don't care about the characteristic if it's present or not present. So we won't spend time or resources on characteristics identified as indifferent. Reverse characteristics are characteristics that cause dissatisfaction. We won't include those in the final product or service. So then we will create a grid. So by using the positive or negative feedback from our customers, we can put all those characteristics into a grid to understand how to carry it forward in the development process. So just for example, if the positive response of a characteristic is that they like it, but the negative response is that they don't like it, that it's not there, then that's a core characteristic, and we'll address it as such. However, if the positive response is that they'd like it, but they think it's normal if it's not included, that's an exciter or a delighter. That's what will differentiate us. And then there's the must-haves. If the positive response is they don't care, and the negative response is they don't like it, then that's a must-have. So let's take this a little further in step 5. Once we've identified all those characteristics that are either core characteristics or must-haves or exciter characteristics, we'll then place them on this diagram. So exciters or delighters, they're unexpected, but if they're there, you can see they'll increase customer satisfaction. But the must-haves or dissatisfiers, those are expected. They must be there. They don't increase satisfaction, but if they're not there, they will decrease satisfaction. And the core requirements are satisfiers. They're desired characteristics. If they're there, they will increase satisfaction at some level. So let's take a look at an example here. So we created 3 questions in the functional format and we got responses. The automobile gets high gas mileage. So the survey results say that they like that. It self-parks. They like that. And it has good brakes. Well, they think that's normal. It should be that way. The dysfunctional form of the question is, it does not get high gas mileage, and they dislike that. It does not self-park. Well, that's normal. They'd like it if it's there, but it's normal if it's not. They'd like it if gas mileage is high, and they dislike it if it's not. The good brakes, if you have good brakes, that's normal. But if you say it has bad brakes, they dislike that. So we can take that information in the surveys that we did with the potential customers and put those in a grid. So out of the 15 people questioned, the high gas mileage ended up 14 of them as a core requirement. So it's in the core category. The self-parking, 15 out of 15 said that was an exciter. So that ends up in the exciter category. And for good brakes, 15 out of 15 said it's a must-have. It ends up in the must-have category. So let's apply those to the Kano diagram. So gas mileage, that is a core requirement. It's a core requirement or a satisfier. It's a desired characteristic. So we listed that as a core requirement. The higher the gas mileage, the more satisfied the customer. Good brakes are a must-have. So we list those as a must-have on the diagram. Must-haves or dissatisfiers are expected. They expect good brakes. But if we have bad brakes, that's going to decrease customer satisfaction. And finally, self-parking automobile. That's an exciter or a delighter. It's unexpected. So that we list it here on the diagram. And that increases satisfaction by adding that characteristic. So that's a simple example of creating a Kano analysis and a Kano diagram. So don't forget to download complimentary Excel toolboxes, and those can be found at valuegenerationpartners.com, selecting the downloads page. 6 toolboxes are available for these different initiatives, and they contain many, many templates you may use for these types of initiatives. So best of luck using Kano analysis and Kano diagram to excite and delight your customers.